I want to say thank you for coming. I actually did not expect everybody to show up.
No.
That's my wife talking over there. And I especially didn't expect to see our family from Manhattan fly in. I didn't expect our family from Luxembourg to fly in. I did expect our family from Bath to show up. But everybody else was just a huge surprise. And there's a few other surprises as well, like this gentleman over here, Gunnar. I'll talk about him in a minute, flown in from Oslo, especially. So, what is this project all about? Well, it's a photographic show. I'm a photographer, trying to get a degree. But actually it's a bit more than that. It's about Cambodia. So, Ingrid and I first got involved with Cambodia actually back in 1994. And we went there on holiday with the kids. In fact, two of the now senior citizens of the family with their own kids were with us at that time. Actually, no, three of them were. And we were Angkor Wat, so we might have been there, totally blue sky. And we heard a noise. And the tour guide, there were no tourists there, because actually the same time we were there, Khmer Rouge were kidnapping tourists and holding them for ransom, so we didn't realize that until after we left. But we heard the noise and the tour guide said it was thunder, and we just didn't believe it. So we did some research and we realized it was the Khmer Rouge throwing shells at the Royal Cambodian Army about 20 kilometers away. So that's how this started. In 1998, I won't give you a history lesson, but in 1998 Pol Pot died. And so in 1999 they started the process of reconciliation between the parts of the country still under Khmer Rouge control and the rest of the country. Now bear in mind the genocide actually stopped in 1979. So there'd been civil war inside the country for 20 years, and that was on top of the genocide. Surat, who is now famous, he's the quotes, the videos, and he'll talk in a minute after me, was asked a question yesterday by one of the visitors to the gallery, so who were the friends of Cambodia? And he honestly couldn't think of an answer, because there weren't any. They were on their own pretty much. So Ingrid actually, and my wife, a lot of you know Ingrid, decided we needed to do something about this, and so we got involved in building schools. I'm not going to tell you the school building story. We're involved with Save the Children, which is the big part of the story, which is Gunnar was the country director of Save the Children. Surat worked for Save the Children. We worked with the Ministry of Education, and we also worked with ex-Khmer Rouge. This project isn't about the Yates family's school. It just happens to be that's how we met these people. So Surat and Sumet became our very good friends. We've known them for 20 years. And when I decided to do the project, we wanted to go back and tell the story. Surat will tell you in his own words how that process worked, but without stealing his thunder, it's fair to say that he and his family hadn't really talked much about what happened. So we started this process, and we decided to create a book and create a photo show. So for those of you who may or may not be interested in the details, why we chose what we chose, I think is kind of important. People have been to Cambodia, know the killing fields, they know tool slaying, the torture museum and so on, the mug shops. But actually, there are 20,000 grave sites in Cambodia. 2 million people died. About 1 million were executed. About 1 million died of starvation, disease, or basically just overwork. And it's the landscape that carries the story. These grave sites are not marked, most of them, and they're all over the country. And some of them are depicted in these images. So the story of the genocide for me, and I think for Surat too, was the land itself, the country. And that was the choice. But it's not just the land, because you look at it, it's beautiful, right? It's lovely. It could be a wood that you want to go for a walk on, or maybe not there so much, but a summer's day, and it's absolutely lovely. Except it's got this terrible story behind it. So that's when we came with the idea of using quotes. Now the quotes are actual quotes from the stories that people like Surat, Sumet, Shreddy, other people that we know have written down in the last 2 years, and they're in the book. That's not a plug for the book, but they're in the book. And these are quotes, and what we try to do is have like a paradox going on. A beautiful place with a terrible quote. So that's the idea of the show. It's not about so much about the details of what we've all done together in the last 20 years, but about the real past, what happened 40 years ago. But there's always hope. We all strongly believe in education, and that's how we all got involved with Cambodia. We still believe it today. People like Ghana, Sarah, myself, Ingrid. It's kind of what we do. And that's why the show is called From Genocide to Hope. There is a bright side to this. It can always be brighter, it could always be better, but there's always a bright side. So I just want to say a few thank yous. I have to say thank you for everybody flying across the planet to be here. I'd be remiss if I didn't do that. I also want to say thank you to some good friends I haven't seen for a long time who've flown here. Gonna catch up in a little while. I've been doing the MA, and I don't know how many of you have done a photography MA. I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to recommend it or not. It's been about 3 weeks. But it's quite hard work. But the one thing that makes it really possible is the cohort. People like Ash, Jem, Vincent's here somewhere. There's a couple of other people. And the tutors, Paul at the back, and there are lots of people. That makes it possible because actually the cohort is almost as important as the infrastructure of the university. I have to say thank you, a big thank you to Vicky and Matt. Matt is Vicky's partner. Now, Vicky has got a big part in the story. It is absolutely a world truth that Vicky at 10 years old was the first blonde Western girl to meet the Khmer Rouge, which she did in 2000, and has been part of this story ever since. And Vicky also designed the book. And Matt has done a brilliant job hosting everybody tonight, hopefully looking after the drinks. I'm sure I have to thank a lot of other people. I think Brilsey, by the way, have been brilliant, this venue. They've been absolutely superb. And there's a lot of people in the photographic community here. There's people from different camera clubs, different groups from all over the place. And that's been a big part of how I think I've grown as a photographer in the last couple of years. And finally, I want to thank Ingrid, because without Ingrid having the idea in the first place, we wouldn't have been involved in Cambodia. And by the way, she does have to put up with quite a lot. She's married to me. And for those of you who know me, know that's not a trivial activity. So I apologize if I've forgotten anybody, but thank you again for coming. And I'm now going to introduce you to Surat, wherever he is. Surat? Surat's going to say a few words. You want to say a few words?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And I especially like to thank to Ingrid and Mick and the family that give me opportunity to come to UK second times and difficult to get visa.
Thank you, Priti Patel, but we're not going to go there.
And I see main point to share with you. I'm so glad that you are come from different places, different country, to join with this important event. I think for my life, it is special for my life. I think number one is just would like to inform any policy makers, any educators, any institutions, community and parents. When we are alive, we can do something. But when we die, finish. So this kind of project, not just project, but I involve with Mick about 20 years, and conductor 1 or 2, they are here. They know Cambodia very well. I think not just to bring you the sadness story, but to share the hope of the hopeless people in Cambodia. This is number 1. And in addition, I just would like to inform you very brief. 1999, Ingrid and her friend, I forgot her name.
Well,
Yeah, and Guna and me, 4 people, we had dinner at the very old hotel, restaurant, Grand Hotel in Siem Reap. And this is the project starts. Actually, stayed in Norway, Red Bana, working in Cambodia since 1988 or something. But the way that we are working for this project is not just like theory, but go down to the grassroots at the battlefield, see what we can do something about. And this again, just thanks to Ingrid there to come to Cambodia at that time. That a lot of landmine and fightings without true story afterwards. And now the project, I just talked to the former conductor from Norway and Andrew. Last week, Minister of Education just signed 2 concept note, 2 papers of note to get 100 million for this project. So the way what we are doing here is not just to share with you the sadness, that this example we can do something if we learn something about experience in the field. It's number 2. And actually a lot of story here I told some friends. I did not know that I'm going to tell this story. Because Cambodia, we rarely or never talk about the story in the past. If I talk story in the past, tomorrow I cannot go to work. Or I can go to work but not full energy because too sad. Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. So the story, example like this story. I went with Mick to the field and I see the mango and fruits. I just telling him the mango, the fruits. When I looking for fruits, I don't mind whatever. I fell down and that masquerade people they kill, but very bad smell. But we were like animal, we don't mind about the smell. This is what we had. And we said, so I'm going to try something about this. I start writing. So all the stories not come from, I want to tell it, I want to write a story, I just trying to hide it, because so sad. Even now, my wife don't know this story. My children, they don't know this story, only me. I want to spell out this country, yes, is very sad, we can do something for the country. So the project helped us a lot to change the mindset of people. And I myself experience, I working for 20, 30 years, I go nice here, I never take my own leave. I just work Saturday, Sunday, I never take leave. Why? So my generation, I have to do something for this country. I talked with a boy who came to me this evening. I said that, why you miss your mother? Why you looking your mother? I said, I told him that, yes, you have to, if you feel hope, you can do something for yourself. If you feel hope, you can do something for your family, your country. So this is, I come here, I'm happy to meet you and share with you. So the untold story has been told and you can find in the books. And just one video about myself. So example that I went to see my mother. My mother told me your friend's mother died and then Khmer killed last 2 weeks something. I forgot it. And then when I met with my friend, I did not tell him. If I tell him that his mother died, he can report to the Khmer because I become like not a clean person because I still have love to my mother and relationship with my mother. So we were trained not to love anyone. We love organization called Angka. It means the structure of the Khmer Rouge. So this all the untold story is not myself. All Cambodian people, they have very similar, not the same story, but similar sadness like me. And actually, I was like 13, 14 years old. I survived. This age survived more than the older people. Older people, they die most of the young people. So this is the number 2 I want to say. And number 3, this project, I learn a lot last 2 days when I'm here. When Mick visit Cambodia, we had a lot of discussion, but I just trying to work it, but without knowing about this. But for this, I would like to share with you the story. Unfinished story mean a lot of story that within Cambodian people like me, and a lot of story that you can find from the project. So there are 2 things. One is sadly story did not record it, and maybe a lot of good things that happening because of the aid and support from other country and Cambodian themselves. You can see, and that we feel a hope. Thank you very much.